Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to our wonderful day of closure and the night that begins with reading the slight edge before calling it a night. Let's just be grateful for all that is unraveling, unfolding in our life, and let's just keep sharing this beautiful world of learning and loving. All right, so it's time to learn about some new edge that all of us can have. And the new section today is a brand new section that we'll start reading. And this section is namely the slight edge part 1. So let's read the chapter number 1. The slight edge philosophy. The law of nature is do the thing and you shall have the power. But they who do not the thing have not the power, says Ralph Waldo Emerson of Compensation Essays, first series 1841. Take two seemingly similar people and give them both the exact same opportunity. One takes it and has remarkable success. The other doesn't. One wins and the other does not. Why? During my years in business, I worked with several thousand people from every imaginable walk of life. They've all had the exact same opportunity. A number of these people have become millionaires to the point that somewhere along the way, I picked up the nickname the millionaire maker. Many more people I have worked with have earned a good, solid living, but the great majority of them, faced with exactly the same opportunities, have gone nowhere. Why? It's not a matter of luck, nor is it a matter of timing, nor fate. It's not a matter of intelligence, skill, or talent either. During these same years, I've risen to the very top with many different companies with different product lines in different countries and different languages, which I don't speak. In case you're worried that I'm bragging, let me put your mind at ease. There was absolutely nothing brilliant about what I did. Actually, it was quite the opposite. In every case, I did the exact same thing every time using ridiculously simple strategies made up of ridiculously simple lists of ridiculously simple actions. And in case you're now thinking that I'm exaggerating, that those are statements of false modesty, let me put your mind at ease about that too. Strategies I used, none of them invented or devised by me, incidentally, are so simple that if you and I sat down together in a room for 20 minutes, I could show you exactly what I did to create 4 different, separate, independent, multi-million dollar organizations and teach you how to do the exact same thing in 20 minutes. And chances are it won't work for you. Why not? Because how to do it is not the issue. Because if we don't change the way you think, then you'll have rearranged what I said by the time you leave the room. You'll have reinvented it by the time you go to bed that night and in the morning. You won't even recognize it as the same information. People everywhere are clamoring for the formula, the secret, the path to improve their lives. Tell me how you did this so I can do it too. Give me the definitive plan. Tell me how to be healthy. Tell me how to be rich. Tell me how to be happy. Tell me, tell me, tell me. And there's more good, solid how to information available today about all those things and there's ever been in history. But that's not how it works. If you are one of the millions looking for cookie cutter answers to the great questions in life, you can call off the research right now. How to do is not the issue. If how to do were the answer, it'd be done. It's how you do the hows that's most important. And this is something all of us must ponder because each one of us has something in life that we want, that we desire, and that we want. And for that, oftentimes we are asking people, how do you do it? Tell me, okay, where did you buy it from? We want shortcuts. We don't want to do research. You've got it right. Okay, fine. Tell me, how did you do it? As simple, whether that formula works for us or not, we just want to keep learning and actually aping, not even learning. And then how does it work for us? Now, Here, Jeff Olson says very categorically, the hows are most important. Which hows are important? How you do it is not important. It is important, but deeper down in that, when we go further, when we explore, those hows matter a lot. Let's get more clarity in this. If access to the right information were the answer, we'd all be rich, healthy, happy, fulfilled. And most of us are none of these things. Why not? Because the answer is only the answer. It isn't actually doing the thing. It isn't applying the answer, living the answer. It's only information. It's not that how to books are not valuable. There are some wonderful ones I'll even recommend to you at the end of this book. It's just that another how to book is not what you need. It's not what any one of us needs. We already have enough of those, maybe more than enough. Because what you need to transform your life is not more information. Besides, we are all so different. My how to may not be yours. It may work for me, but it may not be the how to that works for you. As much as we'd all love to quantify a precise, specific, paint by the numbers approach to life, love, and happiness, we are out of luck in that department because there is no universal, one size fits all method to anything. However, the secret ingredient. There is a secret ingredient for sure. There is a secret that once you know it, will cause you to find those answers, apply them, live them, and achieve the results you want. The secret ingredient is your philosophy. The secret is to change the way you think. Once you do, then you will take the steps you need to take to lead you to the house you need. If you don't change your thinking, no amount of how to's will offer a real solution. It's not the house, it's how you do the house. This isn't about self hypnosis or about conjuring up the impossible through sheer positive thinking or any other kind of focus focus. And I'm not talking about some complex, elaborate, or heady system of ideas. And although I'll completely understand if you find the last part of the sentence truly difficult to believe, what I'm talking about is not difficult to do. I simply mean changing your thinking, your philosophy. The reason diets and other how to's don't work for some people is the same reason most how to books and courses don't work for most people. So let's understand all of us. I should actually be so categorically general, but most of us are stuck in a loop. We are stuck in our societal behavior or our conditioning or our thought process. And whenever we have to do something, there's always a logic and a reason that we give for it for not doing something and not changing our perception. That's why Jeff Olson says the reason diets. We are used to talking about reasons. This won't work for me. Oh, this doesn't apply for me. Oh, that doesn't work. No, I can't do it because it's like this. I've tried there before. I've been there before. And when we are coming from a mentality of what hasn't worked before, and we are kind of, influenced by that, then nothing can work. Why? Because our main thought process isn't open and receptive. It's kind of close-minded. So Jeff often says, it isn't that the actions are wrong. It's that people don't keep doing them. So what we almost do is, we try it sometimes, it's not working, or it's not working for me, chhod diya. But in the spiritual world, we have to realize that hum karma bandh rahe hain. If we pick up a task, and if it's in the divine order, we must take it to fruition and not be perturbed by the density. It's too much. I can't do it. It's so difficult. When the tough gets going, the going gets tough, or it's the other way around. Both of them work. So what are we applying? Focusing on the actions, the what to do's and the how to do it's is not enough. because it's the attitude behind the action that keeps those actions in place. Aha, it's attitudes. So, what I need is an attitude adjustment. No, that wouldn't be necessary to do it either. Your emotions change. You can't dictate how you feel, no matter how much you may tell yourself to feel positive about this, how to step, or that, how to step. What if you just don't? Today, you're excited about getting fit. You feel like doing a 20 minutes on the treadmill. Great. What if tomorrow you just don't feel like doing it? To find the path to success, you have to back up one more step. It's an understanding behind the attitudes that are behind the actions. It's the philosophy. That's a secret ingredient. Your philosophy is what you know, how you hold it, how it affects what you do. That's what this book is about. And my dear friends, my dear co learners, it's very important to know that each one of us has his or her specific philosophy. My principles probably aren't yours. My virtues probably aren't yours. Your philosophy is probably not mine. So it's very easy to keep honing up our skills, to keep creating our own character, to keep creating our own virtues, our principles by believing, thinking, abiding in them. The one affirmation that works for me, it's taught to me by my teacher, Louise Hay. May she be resting in heavens above. She has taught me one thing ingrained in my brain because I've heard her gazillion audios and her videos. And she says, tell the universe, I am open and receptive to all the goodness in the universe. When you say that, you're telling the universe, anything that is of love's light, anything which is good, I am open for it. No matter how close minded I am. But now that I've said this affirmation, whenever something good is coming up, at least I will be open and receptive to it rather than shutting it off. Initially, when something would come and I wouldn't like it, nay, I don't do it. But now I first understand it, get the gist of it, and say, okay, let me give it a shot. If any of my mentors says, Prachi, today I expect you to do this, I never said yes or no. I said, I will give it my best. And I try to give it my best. And most of the time, my mentors are happy with me because whatever they've given me the homework, it's done. But I don't put myself under a pressure. But I want to tell myself that, okay, this is something given to me by senior. I must do it, whether I believe it in or not, because they are the mentors for a reason. They have mastered it all. So if Jeff Olson has helped people become millionaires and given people the slight edge in their life, which makes them in that 5% who will be real successful people, then why shouldn't we try to just follow him blindly for a while and see what he is guiding us? It's very easy to contradict and to learn and to talk about something else, but let's go with the flow with what he's trying to teach us. It's a philosophy, that's secret ingredient. Your philosophy is what you know, how you hold it, how it affects what you do. That's what this book is about. Yes, you have to know the winning how to actions and you have to possess the winning attitudes. But what generates all that and keeps it all in place is your philosophy. Your philosophy creates your attitude, your actions, your results, and that further creates your life. So, isn't this remarkable? When I was reading the book a while ago, I just enlarged these and I just put them on my board and I wrote them down because when you keep reading them again and again and again, a shift happens in us. So, this book has, I'll again show you this diagram that we saw day before. This diagram is very imperative on number 12 page. So if you're a doodler or you're good in drawing, if you're good in whatever, please work on this. You have the PDF on the group already. And the second thing is this thing up on above. When you write these out, there will be a change in your own psyche because then the book is not just being read. Why we're reading the book in the night is because these thoughts will somehow work on us in the night. That's why we're calling it inspiration. It's time to get inspired to become a better version of ourselves. A positive philosophy turns into a positive attitude, which turns into positive actions, which turn into positive results, which turn into a positive lifestyle. A negative philosophy turns into a negative attitude, which in turn turns into negative actions, which turn into negative results, which turn into a negative lifestyle. So obviously, everybody, without flinching, will choose the first. There is just no doubt, right? Life wisdom. What do I mean by philosophy? Not something lofty or abstract, not something you need to go to graduate school or learn Greek to understand. I mean something so simple, so basic, a 6-year-old child can understand it. Here is an example. Do the thing, and you shall have the power, says Ralph Waldo Emerson of compensation. And Ralph Waldo has been so profound in his sayings, and it's very simple. What is he saying? Just do the thing and you have the power. Until you do, you don't know, you never get the power. Once we keep reading and then we are knowledgeable, right? Similarly, doing something gives us the power and gives a muscle memory some time to keep repeating it, and when we keep repeating it, it just becomes excellence. Profoundly simple and just as powerful, the sort of wisdom you can actually apply in everyday life. Nike simplified it for the MTV generation. Just do it. But I like the Emerson version better, and we'll be using it a good deal later on when we talk about applying the slight edge to your life. There are two prevalent types of attitudes: entitled and value driven. A value driven attitude says, what can I do to help you? An entitled attitude says, what have you done for me lately? An entitled attitude says, pay me more and then maybe I'll work harder. A value driven attitude says, I'll work harder and then I expect you'll pay me more. Which of these attitudes is driven by Emerson's philosophy? Do the thing and you'll have the power. So maybe you can write your replies in the chat box. But if you're clear, then it's clear. Your philosophy is what you know, how you hold what you know, and how it affects what you do. You can look at anyone's action and trace back through the attitudes behind those actions to their source, the philosophy behind the attitudes. Show me what a man does, and I'll show you what his philosophy is. Here's another example of a life philosophy. The formula is success. The formula for success is quite simple. Double your rate of failure, says Thomas J. Watson, sir, founder of IBM. The formula for success is quite simple. Double your rate of failure. Now, how many of us want to fail in life? We sometimes think, if I fail, हम दुनिया को मुंह नहीं दिखा पाएंगे, हमने ये इसमें experiment किया था, ये business में किया था, we have failed. But do we know that 99.6% of the world people who ever are mega time successful people today have begun their lives with series of failures? We are not taught that the keys to success is to double your rate of failure. On the contrary, we are taught to avoid failure like the plague. Failure is not an option. Really? It had better be an option. It had better be, because whether or not you consider it an option, it's going to happen. If you go through your life with the philosophy that failure is not an option, then you'll never have any good opportunities to learn, which won't really matter anyways, because if failing is not an option, chances are you won't even try in the first place. If Babe Ruth had had the philosophy, failure is not an option, then you and I would have heard of him. Why? Because not only did Babe Ruth set a world record for home runs, he also led the league in strikeouts. Michael Jordan, considered by many as one of the greatest basketball players of all time, winning 6 NBA titles with Chicago Bulls, didn't make the varsity team as a sophomore because they thought he was too small. The next 2 years, he grew 4 inches, honed his game, and the rest, as they say, is history. Abraham Lincoln had an extraordinary record of lost elections and public office failures over the course of his career. For the ungainly lawyer from Illinois, failure was not only an option, it was practically his specialty. If it hadn't been, he would never have made it to the White House. And it's hard to imagine just what our lives would be like today if Thomas Edison had subscribed to the failure is not an option philosophy. In his efforts to find a stable filament to make his electric light bulb invention work, he tried out thousands of different versions and every single one failed. His comment, I have not failed. I've simply discovered 10,000 ways that don't work. Successful people fail their way to the top. Now, this line is something in the book I've highlighted. And every time I have a new business idea or something new that I want to work on, I tell myself, worst kya ho jayega? It'll not be good, na? It'll be average or it'll be really pathetic. Chalo, man mein aaya, let's do it. Initially, I used to always think, what will people say? I've invested so much money, so much time, so much effort, or so much things in a food product. Now, what if it doesn't turn out very well? Kya hoga? It'll be a failure. So, because when this book came in my life, I realized that we must embrace everything. The uncertainty is actually a good place to be in. The slight edge philosophy. Your philosophy is your view of life, something beyond feelings and attitudes. Your philosophy drives your attitudes and feelings, which drive your actions. By and large, people are looking in the wrong places. They're looking for a breakthrough, looking for that amazing quantum leap, the philosophy of the craps table, the roulette wheel. I don't believe they'll ever find it. I've had colossal failures and I've had remarkable successes, and my experience is neither one happens in quantum leaps. They happen through the slight edge. The purpose of this book is to have you understand the slight edge philosophy, to make it part of how you see the world and how you live your life every day, to understand patience, to understand that little steps compounded do make a difference. And the things you do every single day, the things that don't look dramatic, that don't even look like they matter, do matter. That they not only make a difference, they make all the difference. Now, here I just want to add one side note that sometimes when we think we are being observed, we put on our best behavior, or we're a little careful, or we're a little consciously living. But we think when we are not being observed, we can get away with anything that we do. But every single thing matters, even behind closed doors. In fact, that matters most because that's our own private, sacred time. And the conscious mind is reading that right now I'm on my own principles, my own theories, my own self without anybody being there. And I'm not being judged. But what we are doing is being seen by our conscious mind, by our body, and the memory is implanted deep. So every single thing matters. If we really want to have the slight edge, we must consciously change ourselves to becoming a better version of ourselves moment by moment, consciously. Throughout this book, if you look carefully, you'll find at least a dozen statements. And if you really look very close, many, many dozens that embody this philosophy. Statements such as do the things and you shall have the power. Here are a few examples that you'll come across in the following pages. Success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Successful people do what unsuccessful people are not willing to do. There is a natural progression to everything in life. Plant, cultivate, harvest. Here's a suggestion that can maximize how much you get out of this book. That is, not only reading it, but also absorbing it and applying it in your life every time you come to a fundamental statement of philosophy. Highlight it. Then go back regularly and read through just those highlighted sections, your own personal guide to the slight edge philosophy. So, books are magical. What may be very interesting for me may be okay for you. And what you may find is something that I haven't even seen. And we all know this, like if I believe we're all avid readers or learners or seekers. Each time we read a same book again, we learn something new. And it's like we've not even read this part before. Because we Just read it for the heck of it. But books are not meant to be read. Books are meant to be lived. If we start living what we are reading, I'm not talking about the rom-coms or romantic books, not those, any self-help books, any spiritual books. If what we read, we absorb, we implement, we enact on them, we will get a lot of magics and power. Of course, there are some books. One of my favorite books is an autobiography of a yogi. You cannot at all understand in the first time. You take multiple times to read that book to understand. Similarly, another favorite book of mine is the Gita Ji, the Bhagavad Gita. I've read this book thrice, 7 year courses. Even then, I feel so much new is coming my way. So some things have magic power, but most books have stuff that we can keep reading, implementing, learning, and growing with it. And for this, my personal best is always in self-help books to keep highlighting, because you can't keep reading the book again and again, but you can highlight. And I prefer writing it down so I can see it more carefully. So whatever works for you. The slight edge is also the philosophy embodied in the 3 stories you read in the beginning of this book. It is understanding the tremendous potential of something as seemingly insignificant as a penny. It is knowing how to recognize and harness the power of the water hyacinth. It's having faith in the process of simple, positive actions repeated over time. The faith that miracles do happen. If you know when to trust the process and keep churning the cream. I love this line. We say to the universe that, I trust the process. I know universe has my back. I believe miracles happen. I'm really in sync. I keep churning the cream. What happens when we believe all of this? Only magics happen. And it is mind-boggling how this book on a daily level can bring us so much more. That's the reason I don't read more than 20 minutes of this book, or at the most half an hour, because this book it may look very simple, but it must get us to think about what we have read. Yesterday, those 3 stories was so beautiful, right? Today, we'll call it a night. And I hope that, you have taken something away from this reading and that you will be bringing it in your life and growing and learning with so much more. All right. It's time for a lotus of gratitude. And it's also time to just grow. So let's just close the eyes. Gently close the eyes. Be comfortably seated. Be in sync with your wonderful breathing. Take your both the hands and put them together like they're little buds, lotus buds. And as we keep opening one petal each, let's be grateful for all that has happened throughout the day. Today, I too, along with you, will be silent for these wonderful 100 seconds, where we use 10 seconds to wish and pray or bless whatever's happened. And each time your one petal opens, remember to be thankful, grateful for that thing. Whether you're supported or whether it's something you've enjoyed today, just be grateful. It'll increase our gratitude muscle. How wonderful. Now, those of you who have finished those opening of your 2 beautiful hands into 2 wonderful lotuses, now put your hands on your heart, one above the other or next side by side in your heart area, and say, I magnify this gratitude energy in my life. I amplify it in my heart.
I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so thankful for all the divine synchronicities that take place. I'm grateful for the life that I live. And I choose to see the blessings which are always here. And I choose to count my blessings. I amplify and enlarge my energy field. And I welcome whatever is there with God's love and light. I am open and receptive to all the magics, to all the goodness in this vast universe. And so it is. I am blessed. You are blessed. And now open your hands and share your blessing with the world. Whoever, wherever, may they receive these beautiful blessings and they too have an expansion of heart. May the learning evolve. Love, light, and abundance to each one of you. Let's call it a night. Let's sleep tight. Big hug, and I shall see you tomorrow at 9 p.m. Lots of love and light. Thank you, thank you, thank you.